Guys, welcome to Big Sister 824. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Some of you are celebrating Thanksgiving. I hope you're enjoying time with your family and friends. And for those of you you're not, you're just relaxing and chilling like I am, just having a good time with your family. Then hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy your day, enjoy yourself, enjoy your company, and let's get started. So guys, I want to talk with you about something. If you More and more as you look around in society, it seems as if there appears to be more bad people than good. It appears that there are more villains walking around than quote unquote heroes. And you may run into more people who are more negative than positive. So when that happens through your relationships, through people you encounter on the streets, things that you're seeing online, things that may be going on in your community, people you may encounter at school, at work, whatever, it will lead you to think most people are bad. Okay? You may have had a personal relationship, an intimate relationship. You may have a friendship, maybe someone who raised you, someone you're around. It could be your neighbors, whoever it is, someone at school. You may get the impression that most people are bad. And with technology, we get so much information that it could make you think that the world is basically on fire. And no doubt these people are in the world, but the frequency that we get it, that we're getting all this information. You click online, you could click here. If you look at one crime story, it's going to pull on another one, all this stuff. We're getting this stuff. And so it would appear like every day something has happened all over the world, but you have to also consider that technology is also pumping a lot of information at you at just more than what the human mind is able to comprehend. So it may seem to us that all hell is breaking loose everywhere, when in fact the way the media and the way technology is just putting out the information, it's basically just downloading, just giving you everything, and you're just filling your mind with it. And it just seems as if this is all happening all at once, all over, on your block, in your city, in your country, on your continent. And it's going to be overwhelming. Now, we're not going to take away from the fact that this stuff is probably and is really happening, and there are bad people in the world. But we also have to be realistic, because not everyone is bad. Perhaps you're a person, you are a law-abiding citizen. You've learned from your mistakes. Some of you, you've made some mistakes in your past. All of us have done something that we go, you know what, I could have made a better decision. You learn from it, you grew from it. And just as there's you, and just as you've met someone that's actually nice, there's more people like that. But the question we have to say, why is it that we're seeing more people who are selfish and rude and evil and self-entitled than those who are kind and giving? Why is it that there's so much more? Why is it so difficult to really find people who are true friends? You can know people, you can have associates, and you can call people your friend, and people could say, this is my friend. But when it really gets down to it, their character and their behavior and how they interact with you and what happens and how you treat people is really going to be that's really going to be what's going to let us know who someone truly is. A lot of people get married all the time. There are weddings being planned, weddings happening right now as we speak, or a reception is happening. Oh, it's easy to get married. But what happens now once they start living together and doing life together? So what is the deal? What is going on? Why does it seem as if there's so many people who say that they're friends, but then they turn out not to be good friends? So many people who are getting married, but then they end up getting divorced, or they end up coming out the house in a body bag. Why are so many people claiming to be good men, good women, but then they turn out not to be? Well, in my opinion, I believe it has a lot to do with society and the fact that more and more there are people who are not accountable. They're not responsible. They don't take responsibility for their actions. And it's really easy to just go and get somebody else. Okay? We're in a society where everything is quick. Everything is fast. If you don't want to cook, you can make a quick meal. If you don't want to do any kind of making anything, you can order food. If you want to have companionship, you can literally just be chatting with someone online. You can meet someone, you can do hookups. There's a little bit for everybody. There's swingers clubs. There are so many things that's right at our fingertips. You don't have to leave your house if you don't want to. There is pornography, there are these websites, there's television, there are video games, there's the gym. There's so many things where we're going to focus on the outside. And if this relationship doesn't work, you could just move on to the next thing. So no one ever truly, most people don't have, or these individuals that end up hurting people, or you may be a person you go around and you can't seem to keep relationships. It has a lot to do with what's going on the inside. So no accountability, no responsibility, no self-reflection, and it's easy to move on to the next person. So let's talk about responsibility. No matter what kind of relationship that you're in, no matter who it was, let's say you're with a person, relationship or friendship, and the person was abusive to you in some way, whether it was emotionally, physically, mentally, okay, you have to kind of think, how did I get here? Okay, so a lot of times what happens is when a person gets hurt, they would now look at everything that this person has done to them. And perhaps this person was an absolute horrible person. But once they are out of that situation, there is no self-reflection to say, how was I responsible? How did this happen? Am I saying that you deserve to be beaten or abused or anything like that? No. And I would say the exception now would be sexual abuse, because that's something, it's not about what you did in most cases, okay? This person, there is no what you did. The person raped or sexually assaulted you, end of story, period, they are wrong. That is my view. There's no argument on what did you do to deserve that. But other aspects of abuse, you have to always reflect and say, how did I get to this point? How did I reach this point that now I have this man or this woman that's verbally abusive to me, emotionally abusive, even physically abusive, mentally, spiritually abusive? People tend to always look at what that individual did to them and not look at what led them to even entertain this person to begin with, because there are always red flags. And why would you ignore those red flags? And those answers are going to be found through doing a deep self-reflection on yourself. Because if you're used to dealing with people having either intimate partners, people that you're dating, and friends who are always ridiculing you and abusing you, you have to start to look at yourself and say, why is it that I keep picking these type of people that's all treating me the same? You could leave town, go somewhere else, and you find yourself having the same issues. It's important that we can reflect on ourselves. And that's going to be a painful process, because now you have to face yourself. You may have to face your inner child. It may require you going back to certain things that happened when you were young and how you were raised. That's how you're going to find the answer. So what happens when you do that, it's going to bring you to this place to be able to really see what's what, get the healing you need, the counsel that you need, which will take time. It may take years. Okay, there's no rush to healing. You get all you need. So the counsel, all that stuff. And then now you'll be able to make better choices. So again, a lot of people are not doing that. They rather blame someone. And when they blame the other person and, oh, this person did this, now they move on to the next relationship with a victim mentality and an entitlement. Oh gosh, I need to slow down. And they're entitled. Okay. Other thing is lack of accountability. We spoke about responsibility, right? So lack of accountability. People, they do things wrong and they don't they do not take any sort of accountability for their wrongdoing and their actions. It is always somebody else's fault. When you live in a world where it is somebody else's fault, where you live in a society where a person can commit murder, and having committed murder, we have to now think of, well, this person had a bad childhood. This person did not get their tricycle when they were little. Now we're going to totally say, well, they had a diminished mindset at the time when they committed this murder. So we're living in that society, in that type of society. Accountability. Oh, what do you hear when you see crime shows or people in court? Their mental health comes up. What in the world does that have to do with the fact that you kill someone? Oh, you had a terrible childhood. I'm sure it was terrible, but obviously they didn't kill you. Okay? So inadvertently, these people will talk about their horrible childhood, all these things that happened to them when they were little, and ultimately they turned out to be even worse. They did worse than what their abusers did because they killed people, they killed innocent people that had nothing to do with them. And so now what they're accused, their abusers or their family may have done to them pales in contrast to now who they are. They now turn out to be worse than their parent. So if whatever your parent, the parent of these people, whatever they may have done, if you felt like you deserved to go out here and kill other people, that it gave you the right to go out and kill other people, and now you've done worse than them, then do you not deserve death, the death penalty, or worse? Okay, so that is just in the court systems, right? But then there are other things, guys, that we talk about. They may not go to jail ever, but they are going from relationship to relationship, friendship to friendship, and constantly doing the same type of things. And it's never anybody else. It's never anything they do. They always blame someone else. You may have a friend like that. They do things. They never say that they're sorry. They never take responsibility for their action. It's always you having to apologize and to adjust. Okay. Then, as I said, lack of self-reflection. Okay. They're not going to look over themselves, mull over their actions. We already talked about that. And then, of course, we're in a society where you can just go get someone else. You can go get another person. So there is no need for people to really consider themselves and work on themselves and work through and learn how to be a better friend. Hear what someone has to say. You hear what they have to say, vice versa. Everybody comes to a middle ground and learn to cultivate friendships. People can just go find another person to be friends with, start the whole process over again. Cultivating relationships. No one has time to really get to know each other because there's so many stimulants out there for the eye, the ear, the senses, the taste even, that people are like, hey, it didn't work out with this wife, just get another one. Oh, your husband is not who he needs to be, just go out here and get a little boy toy, a boyfriend. Cheat, do this, lie, start over, get someone else, sleep with this person, sleep with that person. Everything is instant. So no one ever really has to sit down and deal with themselves and their character. So how does this tie into why you're seeing so many bad people? Or why is it so rare to find true friends? Is because we're living in society where very rarely people are dealing with their issues. There's so many things to distract. There's so many other areas that you can throw the responsibility over here, not take responsibility, not learn from mistakes, not reflect on mistakes and say, okay, this is why I did this. I need help. I need counsel. Let me see what I can do to be a better person. Lack of accountability. People are walking around doing whatever they want to do. They have the law on their side to say, oh, of course, you didn't grow up with a dad. So yeah, this is why you shot up the whole school. All these different things that's going on. Less extreme is simply that, well, you shouldn't have done this, then I wouldn't have done that. Not reflecting on oneself, and then instant gratification in different ways. So when you find that you're in a society where very few people want to slow down and look at themselves and take responsibility and to be accountable and to cultivate relationships and adjusting and making sacrifices as needed in a healthy friendship, this is why we will always run into shallow people. People that they appear a certain way at first glance, but as you get to know them, you realize there's not much to them. Because people who lack accountability, responsibility, self-reflection, they're going to always come into a relationship or a friendship trying to see what they can get out of you. They're going to behave a certain way at first to get your attention and to pull you in, but ultimately they're going to change because it is a facade. A facade means it's not what they're showing you is not who they really are. And they'll come in, they're going to tell you all these stories about what's going on in their life and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden it becomes your burden. So it is not that they're not good people, because there are people who they reflect and they're learning their lessons, but they're rare and they're few and far between. And a lot of times they're no longer going to be in mainstream society doing a bunch of things. They're not going to be up front, because a lot of people who really have nothing, they're all flash and no substance, they're the loudest. They're always talking, they're always up front. They're the funniest. They're the best at this and that and the other. There's so much flares going on with them that the ones who are actually genuine, they seem to fade out, or they're not even there. They're quiet, they're unassuming, but yet and still they are a treasure. And a lot of times people who are wanting to be better and they self-reflect, they find more and more they find more often than not, they lose a lot of people around them, because there's not a lot of people who's interested in building their character. There's not a lot of people who's interested in self-reflection, in accountability, and being accountable and responsible. So then now they're going to have less people around them. And I believe that they will eventually meet people like themselves, but it is rare. It's few and far between. So sometimes it can seem like a lonely road, but sometimes that person who has a heart of gold is right there in front of you and you don't know it. And they're going to be more careful in their choices and how they approach, because with self-reflection and accountability and all that stuff, it's going to change the way you think. You're not going to be so quick to put your heart out there and to throw your feelings out there. You're also not going to be so quick to just believe everything. You're going to see people very clearly. It's like it's like it takes a fog off of your mind and in your eyes, so you see things clearly. And so therefore you're not going to keep making, these individuals will not keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And so they're like hidden treasures. But when you aim to do what's right and you aim to do good and to take responsibility for your actions and to be a better person, it's really going to set you apart. And because you're rare, it's going to take someone very special to discover you and you to discover that person. But nevertheless, what's meant to be is going to be. Don't spend your life trying to find this person and trying to make it happen. It is going to happen. You just need to continue being who you are, keep doing the right things, because what you sow, you're going to reap. When you do good things, when no one is looking, whether they're looking or not, it's going to set you on that path to meet good friends. It's going to set you on the path to meet that person that is for you. And if you're a person that you're just, you prefer to live alone, you'll live a happy life, even by yourself. Being by yourself is not a terrible thing. You'll know people, you'll have people that you know, but perhaps the bulk of your life, you're living on your own, traveling, doing what you want to do, and that's okay. But just to tie up this video and to wrap it up, guys, as I said, the reason why there seems to be more bad people than good, it's not that there are more bad people than good. There's just more people who do not want to be accountable, who do not want to be responsible, who do not want to self-reflect, and they are just they're feeding into their impulses of instant gratification, therefore leaving them as hollow individual. They become entitled. They become what they would say narcissistic, and they're just not learning. And so you'll see more of these individuals than those who are of character. A person who has character, a person of high moral standards, or who aim for that, is very rare and is a treasure. And because they're so rare and they're so special, God will always have them hidden. They're hidden treasures, so that so people cannot just come up and loot and plunder and take whatever they want to take from them and destroy them and ruin their destiny, take them off the path that they're going to be on, or ruin them so much that they are no good for the person who is going to come along and be their wife or husband or partner, or even a friend down the line. So you're a hidden treasure, and good people are out there. They're hidden treasures, but at the right time, they'll be revealed to you. I hope this I hope this video makes some sense to you guys. I'm sorry that it was so long. I tried to taper it, but I think you're worth 20 minutes. Don't you? Alright guys, thank you for watching my videos. Don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. Please explore my other videos, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.